Hi, Laura. I'm so glad you joined
Oh my
me.
goodness, I should have brought my hat.
That's right. You were not prepared. I even got the jingle bells.
I just I just don't I've got two hats the other day. One says naughty, one says nice. And I'm like, I just want to wear the naughty one. So people can ask why.
I got
Anyway,
I got you. It is so good to finally get you on here, and I'm so excited to talk about our both of us on the initiative of health and wellness. You focus a lot on the physical, me on the financial, and I know you've got some exciting things coming up as well. And we've got some really good talks to do. So give us some news and good information. And before you get started, I wanted to let everyone know there's a free offer from Laura right below. Check that out and join her. She is amazing, and I'll let her take the stage.
Bettina, just honored to be here. And it's so interesting that the word finances comes into this because there's so many people out there working from home right now over the last couple of years. And I'm willing to bet if you had them all on Zoom and he said, how many people need to lose 20 pounds? They'd all raise their hand. But also, are they working to their fullest potential to be earning the money they want? Are they? And then I started digging deeper and do some research. And it was frightening. People that sit at their desks more than 6 hours a day, their risk of heart disease and obesity goes up 64%. So,
Wow.
and then I started Googling, what about traveling? And then I found now that people are traveling more, some of the health issues with traveling. So it just sort of opened up this new arena for me to look at and go, okay, even though I have a health and wellness business in the Cayman Islands, but
Jealous.
now you better get your butt down here. Now I can sort of look at, okay, how can I help, which I love to do. And everyone's so different, right? Some people work for one than the other, but how can I help people just make tiny baby steps? And of course, this time of year, everyone's busy either procrastinating and say, I'm going to start in the new year with my health and sometimes health and wealth, or they're being smart and saying, let me do baby steps now. Let me live through the holidays without gaining a bunch of weight and feel good about myself. And then I can take the next step when I get to January and the next step. Because statistics show that people with New Year's resolutions, a majority of them don't last very long.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. And I will tell you, just working with you and Dara Lee, you on the physical side and Dara Lee on the food and health and other alternatives. I have a watch that reminds me to drink water every 30 minutes. And then I have a timer that reminds me to eat. It's crazy. We get so busy in our lives that it's very easy to forget the nutritional values that we need to look into, and not eating is worse for you than eating all the bad foods that you're eating. It's kind of the same thing, right? Would you say, Laura?
Yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of people have done Weight Watchers programs. They will start a program. They're going, I'm eating so much food with this program because our bodies are great little machines, right? And
Right.
something as simple as, I just find it so interesting. So for example, you talk about water, something as simple as having a tiny little grain of salt, preferably Himalayan or Celtic salt, on your tongue right before you start drinking your water helps open up your cells in your body so your body can absorb the water. I never knew that. And I drink tons of water. So I carry a little container around of some Himalayan salt. So back to people and eating. If you need something quick, and usually people like, I'm a single mom, but we put ourselves last. We always take care of the kids first or whatever. And then it's business. Take care of the business first. I can do my personal stuff later. And if we don't put ourselves first, then we will forget about it. Say, oh, it's too late now. I'm not going to go for that walk. So I think when you recognize that your body does need food, nutrition, and the fact that people that love food, there's so many great ways to have yummy food and not overindulge. One great over the holidays for people that drink alcohol, wine and so forth, which is totally cool, is when they go to a party, one trick I personally use, and I know several of my clients use, is they get to the party and they'll have club soda, preferably, or something with no calories. Water with lime, water with lemon, and then make sure in the same wine glass. So and then they don't have the same urges to pick up all those snacks on the table of the hors d'oeuvre table of something that may be unhealthy. Yeah, because you can procrastinate in your clear head. I'm just going to wait. Then when the
Right.
meal comes, have a glass of wine with the meal, and you've already avoided all those extra hors d'oeuvres at the beginning. See what I mean? Just by saying no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you.
So when you
And
say the wine, do you mean a small glass? Because usually mine's got the nipple on the top with the whole bottle. Let's just be real. There you go. Oh yeah, hide it in your cup, right?
oh, this is water. Exactly. But it's so easy to one simple little thing and just say no, thank you. Don't worry about they made something special. Like I never eat any of them items that I know retain that are high in salt, that retain fluid and so forth. And I think if we just, and then if you're hosting parties, pick some interesting healthy snacks. And they're not to be that much more expensive. And you can start thinking like something like hummus and carrots, and there's a bunch of different things you can have with hummus that don't need to have the chips.
Right. Oh yeah, I do hummus with oh excuse me, sorry. I do hummus with cucumbers. Oh, I love the hummus with the cucumbers. And now they have the everything. Okay, y'all may know this, but I did the garlic all the time. So then I found the everything, like with the everything bagels, but I don't eat bagels because of the, thickness and stuff. But I found the everything hummus and I was like, oh my God, now I'm in heaven. Just cut up some cucumbers, eat that hummus on there. That's like the delicatessen of ever. That's my like one of my favorite go-tos now.
And I think that, I think, Tino, a lot of times we don't ask ourselves the right question. We just think, we just got to start somewhere feeling better.
Right.
And I think the feeling better, I was talking to someone the other day about, I just have a passion for this. I want to feel better, sleep better. And they said, Laura, the bottom line is lose weight. The bottom line is get your body, maybe not pound wise, but get your body in a healthier situation.
Correct.
That's why something is intermittent fasting, which a lot of people do without realizing it. Like they have dinner at 7, wake up the next day, they might have a cup of coffee, but they don't have anything to eat until lunch. So they've already done intermittent fasting. I look at as let's talk about the holidays.
Okay.
Example, you go to a party tonight, there's cheese, crackers, there's dips, there's quiches and things that you don't mind tasting, but you really shouldn't have too many of those things. The next day, or the next 2 days, ideally, just be super good. Stay away from processed foods, eat a lot of vegetables, whole foods. Just try and just maybe 6 small little meals throughout the day rather than big meals. And just let your body take care of what it needs to work and digest and process the food that you shoved in your mouth the night before.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Don't beat yourself up, right? Like enjoy that moment. Enjoy that
uh-huh.
that moment, but just get right back on. Don't continue that pattern all throughout the new year, right? Is that kind of like what we're talking about? But
Yeah.
in your efforts, I know you also incorporate food habits as well, but you focus very much so on the physical component. And I know I'm learning like the word exercise is coming out of the vocabulary now. It's all about movement. And it's so funny, that I'm learning that with you is all about the movement, 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 because I'm a dancer. I love to just like get out there and just dance. I used to do that with my kids when I would clean and I would just dance and stick it. I'm an 80s girl, love the 80s music. I didn't play in the clubs, but I love the music because it was always upbeat and dancing. So isn't that like the greatest thing? And another thing, like a vibrational machine underneath your desk. If you cannot get up and you're real busy like we are, we're always either on the go or at our desk or on the go. And just if you can get it like a vibrational plate or something of that nature to kind of get you moving if you can't move for several hours, is there any other thing you can suggest that's really beneficial?
Here's something frightening. So I've been in the industry a long time and presented fitness conferences. I've done a million certifications, but it wasn't until, I don't know, 4 years ago that I started reading about lymphatic system, because a friend of mine had cancer, and his way of getting rid of cancer was bouncing on the trampoline 7 minutes a day. For
Wow.
him, that worked. So I started like, this is so interesting. Well, your lymphatic system, which runs throughout it's your detoxification system, doesn't have a pump. It only works if you're moving. So your lymphatic system, which gets detoxified, get rid of toxins out of your body, whether you're bouncing in a chair, or I call it a 1-minute shakedown. So all of my classes do 1-minute shakedown. Literally stand up. I don't have to worry about my knees or back because I'm not going to leave the floor, but literally just like when you're little and you go, just by doing that shaking a couple times a day is going to get your lymphatic system moving, especially for people that are glued to a chair
Right.
or a couch. So think about little kids. So once I realized that, I thought, let me think of all my friends who unfortunately have had to deal with cancer. And I would say 98% of them, things happen in the lymph nodes. And I'm
Wow.
thinking, whoa, and they don't feel good, so they don't move. Little kids, who I deal a lot with babies on up, they're less active than they were before. So they're very good at doing this at
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. So they're not active. I mean, I grew up, and I know you did as well, with if the sun's out, get your butt outside and move around. We'll come back when it's dinner. So I think we just have to say, okay, because I have several clients that are well, put it this way, one has to actually go to the airport to weigh herself because there's no scale for her amount.
Oh,
I'll tell you a funny story about it. You'll love it. Anyhow, so we just have to realize, just by cleaning the house, maybe ideally steps. So for example, by having enough steps per day, and set your guidelines. It could be, there's 2 guidelines: measure your steps, and all the watches can do it now for you.
right.
Or your
Right.
time, So years ago, the guidelines were at least 200 minutes, cumulative minutes a week. So that might work for somebody else. So Tina, for you, I want you out walking, bicycling, whatever, for at least 200 minutes. So, and that might be 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. So we tried that sort of rule of thumb to see, will that work for people?
Yeah.
Swimming, bicycling, vacuuming, dancing. Oh my gosh. How many of us?
Anything, movement
How many?
in general now. I remember it was always, everybody thought they had to go to a gym to do any type of activity. And I am so glad, because I was in that world back when, no, you don't have to go to the gym. You can dance, you can walk, you can play with the kids, you can do all kinds of things to get moving and moving and moving. And you are right. And I'm so glad that things are coming up with the times of just get out and move. Like you said, just jumping up and down, or anything to get yourself moving, right? Isn't that the ultimate goal?
Yes, and when winter comes for people, of course, that's another whole, I can't do it. So let's 2 things I want to share with you.
Mindset.
Yeah, we're coming to mindset. So imagine this woman, she pulls herself out of a taxi van to walk into my facility because her husband, who's extremely lean, and 2 kids, I'd posted a couple of years ago that I would like to help someone, coach them for their longevity.
Right.
So she shows up, she's going to meet me. My little son, who doesn't, at the time was maybe 3, we don't use the word fat in our house, or didn't. I'm in a fitness facility, we just didn't even, why even talk about that word? It's about being healthy. So
Right.
she gets out and she's walking. Now you're talking more than 400 pounds. She's walking towards me, and my son is right standing on the step, and he opens his mouth and goes, and I thought, oh God, please don't say anything negative. Oh my God. So he
Kids
looked,
say the darndest things. I get it.
he looked at her and he goes, you must be so strong. And I get teary thinking about it, but she started, her body changed. She started marching in the building. and then she was on a mission. So it's
Good for
so, the reason I mention that is because it goes back to our mindset. Just that one little thing changed her mindset. She is what she is. She's not going to spend energy looking at, "No, I'm sorry, I ate all this." It's not going to come off in one day. So the mindset. So here we have Christmas coming. People have to have, it's, once they recognize it's how you're perceiving everything. So
Right.
just to get out and walk. So I've realized, like, for me, it's getting busy. My son's coming home soon. I've got to get up. I've got to get used to getting up much earlier, get out and do my walk, do my strength training, which is a couple cans of soup can do it. And because I want a certain parts of my body to be strong, and get up in the morning, then it's done. And if I do something else later on, awesome.
Then it's a bonus, right?
Yeah.
It's a bonus. And also too, Laura, you know, a lot of people, we're experts in our field, right? People say, well, I bet that for me, I bet your finances are always in order. And I bet everyone says to you, I bet you never have a down physical day. No, we do. And we get right back up and we focus on what we are good at. And we have those moments, right? Just like you said, it's a bonus outside of what you physically do. And another thing too, in the stigma I always preach is it's not always what you're eating that's causing weight loss. You may have health issues. Like, for instance, I battled insulin resistance for the longest time. Fasting, because I had a habit of not eating, fasting ended up becoming pretty easy. I'm not intermittent fasting, became easier for me to jump on the bandwagon. And as soon as I started learning and reminding myself to drink, reminding myself to move, reminding myself to eat, and focused on intermittent fasting that worked for me, and everybody's going to be different, then the weight just started coming off. So it's not just adding movement and adding these other things. You got to find what works for you. Wouldn't you agree?
It's like a science project.
That's true. We are a science
So
project.
that's what we do. So as a guide, the word coach is all over the place, but I feel like I'm more like a personal guide. So that's the power of asking questions, because I think, there's something as simple as, why do you want to lose weight? Well, I need to lose 6 pounds. Okay. Why? And how are you going to feel when that happens? And by digging a little bit deeper, you realize maybe it's not just 6 pounds. They just want to have better sleep and more energy.
Right.
Also, so I've got to speak up now to share this. I used to have the worst money mindset ever. And it affected my work. It did. It affected me I'm always bundle of energy, and I attract people that want positive energy and vibes. But boy, when it came to Friday afternoon, can I have enough money to pay my staff? This money stress. And when I chose to choose abundance and welcome abundance, and realize that my parents did the best they could when we were raised. And of course, money does not grow in trees. And it was probably not the best thing to tell me as a kid. And like, we're always screaming poverty in our house. And then I was part of it. I follow Ray Higdon and a lot of the Higdon group stuff. And a big changing point for me was I had a different house. I started thinking, okay, I need to be a businesswoman. We need to earn this much money. We spend less. Anyhow, money started building a little bit for the business. And then what Ray had us do, suggested every Wednesday, and I've not missed one for like 4 years now, maybe. Every
Awesome.
Wednesday, I do Wealth Wednesday. So for me, I go to a gas station around the corner. It's $1, $5, $10. Staple it to a piece of paper and say, welcome to Wealth Wednesday. I pass it forward. In the States, you have a lot of to-go places where you can drive up and pay for the guy behind you. Same concept.
Pay it forward, big time. I can go in a holster. You're right. Pay it forward. I saw that movie many years ago, and to this day, I still practice that mindset, because that is so valuable to not have to give it, pay it forward. Anytime someone does something for me, Laura, I say, pay it forward, right? So that's, what do you call it now?
Well, I call it Wealth Wednesday.
Wealth Wednesday.
And
Okay.
so Ray Higdon introduced me to it, but I also share it with parents, because hopefully they'll get the idea to do that with their kid. So my son, during COVID, the way we were in Cayman, we were on lockdown. Like only if your last letter, like ribbons, could only go shopping on a Tuesday and Thursday. And we had,
Wow.
oh yeah, we had no airplanes in here. We couldn't go outside our yard. Heaven help all the people that lived in condos. You couldn't leave your condo. You couldn't go to the pool. Anyhow, so it's Wealth Wednesday, and I'm like, Sam, I don't care. I'm riding my bike to the gas station. He goes, Mom, you're gonna get in trouble. So he saw me with a $25 bill. And I staple it, and he goes, Mom, you can't. Mind you, we're in complete lockdown. No jobs, no work, what, some
Oh,
online stuff. And
right.
he goes, you can't spend $25. We need that for food. I said, Sam, when you don't have it is when you need to pay it forward the most. So I rode the bike to the gas station, gave it to the girl there, and what she does, I go, it's Wealth Wednesday, and she goes, okay. She takes it, and then when the people come up to buy food at the gas station, because I'm never going to eat any of that food anyhow, so I'm not going to. So I say, you decide who you're going to give it to. So then she gives it to somebody. My name obviously not on it. Anyhow, I rode my bike back, Tina, to Fitness Connection where I am, opened up the gate. My girlfriend drove up in a car and she said, here is a check for you. It was for a couple $100. Here's a check for you for thank you for doing all those exercise videos free on YouTube. And I
That
went,
is awesome.
whoa, the
You were
universe.
honest. That is so awesome. And that's why everyone needs to check out Laura and her offer because it's amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing what 2024 brings to you. And yes, financial health, it all goes hand in hand. The financial health mindset, the physical, and your eating habits and things of that nature. Whatever works for you, just yes, consider yourself a science project and find what works for you because what works for someone else doesn't always work for you. And you got to find what works in your elements, in your physical component, and what you feel is the best for you. If you don't want to go to a gym, then dance at home. Do whatever you have to do. If you believe in intermittent fasting, definitely focus on that because everybody's got to find their own way. And it is hard because it's just like chemistry. You're trying to find the right chemical balance and the right chemicals. And sometimes it takes us 30, 40 years to figure that out. And that's okay. But as long as you start somewhere, and my focus is on financial health and wellness because you can have all the physical and the food and everything and in reference to the mindset. But I also like to work with financial health and wellness because that affects you in so many ways on the mental aspect and brings depression, anxiety, and all the things that affect you on the financial level because everybody's mindset is I want to be financially free. Well, what are we going to do to get you there? And that's where I push so much on my life in reference to financial health and wellness. And I'm starting the FIRE mindset series starting in 2024, and it's simple. It's not long drawn out, just like you get up, dance, move. That's all you have to do. So there's a financial mindset series I'm starting, and FIRE stands for Financial Independence for Retirement Early. And you say, what? How can I even possibly do that? Again, mindset. So think, Laura, if you're 20 years old and you're being told, oh, you won't be able to retire till you're 70. Well, a 20-year-old's going to go, that's 50 years from now. I'm not worrying about saving. I'm not worried about retirement. That's the furthest thing on my mind. But if you change the mindset of going, wow, I can actually possibly retire early, think about it. Then their mindset clicks a little bit and there's strategies that can be put in place to get you in the goal planning and what needs to be done to get you in that mindset to have the possibility to retirement early. We are in a generation now to be able to do that. People are coming out of 9-to-5 jobs. People are exploring other opportunities. COVID changed the world in more ways than we could ever imagine and really has gotten a lot of people on a different mindset on how can I maximize my financial freedom potential? And that is what I'm so glad to share with my processes. And everyone says, why do you start with collections? Well, collections is the number one pain point in a lot of companies. Either it's not being managed correctly, or there's processes that have to change, or if you don't have a collection problem because everyone pays for your product up front, are you having a costing? Do you need a cost analysis reviewed? something like those two simple things, either managing a collection strategy or costing and making sure you're getting the value for your product and service, those two things can make a major difference to any small, mid-size, or even larger businesses. And that's what my focus is on. I do a revenue accelerator plan initiative, but I think with the Fire Mindset series, it's going to help anybody from a single entrepreneur individual like yourself, Laura, to all the way up to mid-sized companies. It doesn't matter. This strategy is all customizable to make sure that you understand and you can value yourself, because my goal is, once you understand the financial part, the physical, the mental, the eating habits, and all of that will all roll into place. Would you agree?
I so strongly, and I think what you just said sums up to a person being able to say, I'm okay. In other words, and you mentioned that, I mean, our bodies change as we chronologically get older. I don't do age, but and that's my mentality. People have to fit with that. But anyhow, my mom's 97 and she just turned 95, and she's out hiking, and she's, amazing mindset. But I think you mentioned anxiety and depression and so forth. Our bodies change with what's happening in the world, with foods and so forth, and so don't the finances and how much things are costing and the stress of that. But for someone to know, I'm okay, because I'm okay, and it does, for for a lot of people, Tina, it's going to start with money before they even think about taking care of their health, and that's okay. They've got to start somewhere. And I love what you said, the financial independence for retirement, financial independence for retirement early. Is that what you said?
Mindset.
Oh, I'm on this.
And remember,
fabulous.
when you think about it, it's like, I think, and I might be wrong, I think I always hear that girl is on fire. So anytime you think about it, you think of that song, and hey, that's how I'm going to walk into a presentation. Let's walk in like we're on fire, because I want you to have that mindset. At any time you sit down and do a budget, you go home, you're spending, you want to join your program. Do I have the money? I want to go onto a weight loss program. Do I have the money? I want to, go to a gym, but I don't have the money. Well, you know what? There are many alternatives to that. And that's one of my initiatives, is to teach, financial education from another perspective, from the college, the high school to college, to, individual entrepreneurs to mid-sized companies. It's across the board. And the one thing I want to do, don't let it be so overwhelming. It's like when people get into the 401k, you got to start saving, you need a plan, you need this. I understand that. But we got to make money first. That's the number one thing. We got to make sure that they feel comfortable that they're producing, some revenue in their business or in their family life or whatever it is. It's so important, because everything else will fall into place once the money starts showing some prosperity. And they've re-nicknamed me the financial prosperity expert. So I was like, I'll take it.
So true. It's so true. And I think with what's coming to my mind as you're talking is to know you're okay, to be able to budget. To many of us being running a business, often people come and go, what about advertising? Like, I don't have a budget. It's what we need at the time.
Right.
But then I found out, because you're in the trenches with that, you are able to say something is like, for example, I just got a life insurance policy finished. So I was able to get the funds, and I just said, okay, we'll put it in the US account here in Cayman Islands. For me to take that out is going to cost me 1.5%. So,
Wow.
and which is a lot of money. So that's for me to take it out. Now, if I had thought about it, if I had the education and the guidance, like from someone like yourself, you would have been my go-to. Here, I just got this. Now, what am I doing with it? Well, and I've been out of the country for a while, so a lot of the 401ks and the rest of it is new to me.
Right.
I'm still a US citizen and pay taxes. So I'm excited. How does this fire series work? Is it, you're gonna put a link down there, or what's gonna
Yeah,
happen?
there's going to be a link. I've got your link and my link in there to join both of our efforts in trying to work with anyone that is interested in changing the mindset for 2024. That's the overall goal. And you know, by signing up for that, you'll get a freebie offer. You'll get this freebie offer that I have to kind of get you started. Now, some of the things in the freebie offer may not relate to everybody, but it's a good start. And then I am doing a workshop on Saturday with Kim. She is the pause lady, and I'm looking forward to that. And that alone has, just implementing what Kim has for that 15 minutes makes a world of difference. So I'm looking forward to that. But the mindset series it'll give you the free spreadsheet to get you started. And then I am introducing some workshops, and then, you know, we'll go from there on a package for me to work with you. Because the number one thing that I want to do for anybody that joins the Fire Mindset series is let you feel like you know your financial control, right? Your control of your finances, and you understand it in simpler terms. That's the whole thing. Let's reduce the stress and anxiety on even sitting there and budget. Believe me, I can teach you tactics that make it easier for anybody to understand. And I don't use all the lingo like, you know, like most do. We want to keep it simple. There's 6 basic practices that you can do today that will help you with less stress and less anxiety on your budget and whatever your financial situation is. And that's the goal. We all have to take that one step, just like any New Year's resolution, any diet, any exercise program, which I don't like the word, any movement program, any, let's not say diet, but eating healthier plan or whatnot. It's all part of the same thing. And that's my overall initiative, is just to continue to educate where people can understand and not feel overstressed of the terminology and not understanding the terms, and, you know, feeling like I just don't even understand what you're talking about on a 401k. How does that run? You know, there's a lot of language. I refer to it like doctors. You know, you go in for the doctor, and the doctor says 10 words you don't even understand in a 50 sentence.
And but
I
then you don't ask the right questions, and people are, what's really nice, and I hopefully people can say this about me as well. But what's nice with working with you, Tina, is you're not judgmental. And I think, especially with money, a lot of people are embarrassed because they allow themselves to be embarrassed because they feel like they failed, they should know this or whatever. And once you get over that, you know, it's like, you know, I need some help. I'm not, you know, and then hopefully the energy, I mean, money, we need money, and the energy around money should be really positive and good.
Yes.
Not being, and for people to feel comfortable so they can say, you know, I never even knew half this shit. Now I got to get it out there, you know, so I can be comfortable. It's sort of like going through your Apple account and finding out how many apps you're paying for. And you go, what? I
Yeah.
don't even use these anymore. Let me get them out of here.
Yeah, and it's the little things like that, you know. I always use the analogy, I'm not going to give you the entire cake for you to eat it and gorge and be sick, and you're never going to want to touch it again. I give you one piece at a time, one bit of education at a time, one piece of cake. I let you enjoy that. I let you absorb that piece of cake. And again, we're talking cake when we're talking diet, but I'm giving you an analogy. But one piece of cake, enjoy that piece of cake, and then I'll give you the next piece of cake and then the next piece of cake. By the time we're finished that whole cake, you're going to enjoy the value of what that cake tastes like and what that was like. And instead of just gorging on an entire cake and getting sick, throwing up, or whatever else happens, and then you're never going to want to touch that cake again. I will tell you, I had that experience one time with German chocolate cake. No offense to German chocolate cake, but I was a young child and I ate way too much German chocolate cake. And you can ask anyone in my family to this day, if I even see it, look at it, or anything, I will not touch that cake at all. And see what it did. And I'm an older person. I'm half a century now, and I still will not eat German chocolate cake because of what happened to me as a young child, trying to overeat too much at a party, and I thought I could eat more, and yeah, it was not the smart decision. So you see what I mean, how it can affect you for lifelong.
Money doesn't grow in trees.
Nope, money does not
That
grow
little
in
thing,
trees.
That would have
Yeah.
been, should never have been mentioned, but anyhow.
Yeah, and it's good. It's so good to talk to you. I want to talk to you some more. We'll kind of jump on in 2024, you and I. And let's like
Sure.
get together and we'll grab some people maybe around in February and bring this up again and let's see where everybody is, you know, once the new year comes. And I wish everybody a happy new year and happy holidays. And anything exciting you're gonna be doing?
Well, my son's coming home from LA, so it'll be great. And we I live where I work. So while we have camps and things going on, it's people in my yard. But that's gonna stop in the 22nd. But the freebie below is 8 ways to cut calories straight away. Number 3 is my favorite. And it's simple, easy ways to start cutting some calories. Calories are energy. So if we start looking at energy, what do we need for energy? Then it might change some of your mindsets. And then when you link into that, it will give you another offer. But I do get your email address when you do that. So when you click that link for the freebie, so that way I can keep you in the loop with upcoming programs. I've got a 7-day on-demand challenge coming up, and for entrepreneurs, but for people that working at home, fat loss jumpstart, and that's going to be fun. So I think that's the coolest thing, isn't it? We just keep everyone in the loop with what we're doing. And I'm super psyched about the F.I.R.E series. That's right up my alley.
Right, exactly. Remember that song. Yeah, so everybody, I mean, I'm excited too. So definitely loop into both of our links so we can keep you posted on the upcoming things we've got coming after in the new year 2024. We're excited to share so many. I mean, we have so much to share with you, and it's so hard to do in such a short amount of time with this presentation, but we will definitely loop you in on 2024. Sign up for both of our pages so you can be added to our list, and we'll keep you in the loop on things that are coming up, programs that we're offering, a little bit more insight. We've got freebies, right, Laura? We got freebies coming. We've got workshops that we'll introduce you to, and all the things that give you what you need to make a 2024 prosperous, healthy, and focus on wellness overall. Would you agree?
Yes, look what I just found.
What?
So taking care of your heart and get on fire.
Get on fire. Well, thank you, Laura. I appreciate you joining me today and taking the time out. I know it's really busy, but thank you so very much. And have a
Holidays, everybody.
fantastic day. Yes, happy holidays, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.